Hi, it's Mike here again from Sussex Caravan Centre with another tutorial video for you guys. Today we're going to be covering the Sargent EC800 touchscreen control panel. This is found in all of our 2019 caravans, motorhomes and our 2020 caravans. We'll be in some other Swift vehicles as well, as Sargent cover all the electronics for the Swift vehicles, so it might be of help to other people. We're going to go through general functionality of it, sort of show you a little bit about each section, how to use it. And also we're going to do a quick couple of problem solving tips at the end. If you want to skip straight to that, we're going to put a time link in the description below, so if you're just here for the troubleshooting, open the description up, click on that timestamp and it will take you through just to that part of it. Okay, so with the panel, the home button, as we like to call it, on the left hand side, if you push that, it'll wake the panel up, bring it to life. At the top here we've got the internal temperature of the motorhome, which is surrounded by the little motorhome symbol. We've got the external temperature and humidity. We've also got date and time, which can be adjusted in the settings, which we'll run through later. We've got indicators for your leisure battery and your vehicle battery up in the top right hand corner there. Pump will simply turn the pump on and off, so if we press it quickly we're going to see that symbol highlighted. We're also going to hear the pump in the background starting to run. Little warning there because we're in one of our demo vehicles which doesn't really have any water in the tank, so it's just telling us that we shouldn't really have that pump running for too long. We need to fill up our water level there. Under normal operation, that'll switch on, it will prime the system, and then it will only really come on when you guys open the taps, so water on demand. Next symbol along is for the awning light. Again, if we touch that, it's going to highlight, it's going to turn on the awning light outside, which we obviously can't see from our position at the moment, and then we want to turn that off. We can do it again by retouching again. Move along to the next one is the lighting section. If we go into this, we've got effectively the on and off switches are these two large ones here. So if we push that one, it's going to turn to off. The lighting inside the vehicle dims. If we turn it back on and use the plus or the minus system, in this case, we can set the desired level of lighting in each section of the vehicle. Back to home, and the next one along is power. If we go into power, it's going to show us a snapshot of what's going on with both our leisure and our vehicle charge systems. Leisure side at the moment, our leisure battery is at 12.9 volts and the vehicle battery is up at 13.6. That is because, as you can see with this lightning symbol, we've got this plugged into mains at the moment. As denoted by the lightning symbol, that's charging our vehicle battery. The leisure battery is getting topped up as and when required from the solar panel, which is what this little sun symbol shows, and it's also showing us at the moment it's putting in 1.5 amps into that. You can select which battery you want to prioritize. Most of the vehicles we will send out will be set to what's called smart charging. What smart charging does is it prioritizes which batteries at the lowest point. It will switch the mains if plugged in to that battery until that's at a good level, and then it will switch to the other battery, so it shares the charge between the two. If you don't have a mains lead plugged in at the time and you're purely relying on the solar panel, we will do the same thing. However, it will depend on the weather and the time of year to how much charge will go into those systems. There's a little arrow which takes you through to a second menu on the bottom right here, and if we press that, we can just see the current and also a limit. We don't need to concern ourselves too much with this page though, so we're not going to spend too long on it. Next one along in the subsections is water. We've got our fill levels here, so fresh and waste water. Obviously, at the moment this vehicle is parked up on site, we don't have any water in it. When you fill it up, it should be at your fill level, so 100% typically for fresh, and then as you use it, obviously the waste will go up as well. We've got empty fresh and empty waste, the two little buttons in the bottom right here. Again, if we press empty fresh, we'll see that highlight, we'll hear some noise where the valve's opening, and that would empty our fresh water out if we had any in there. Just a little confirm message pops up. We can hear, not sure you can pick it up on the video, we can hear the drain valve open, and then it's going to tell us in a minute when we press again, stop draining fresh and confirm, because obviously we don't have anything to drain. Same thing for the wastewater there. So back home again. Heating. This van's fitted with the Tremor, the iVan panel. We'd recommend always using this directly rather than trying to go through the EC800, because we're trying to set the heating up on that panel to tell this panel what to do. Same thing if you're using the app that we can download onto mobile devices, tablets, etc. For these systems. It's always best to use the panel itself to set all these things up, because then it cuts out a link where the system can confuse itself. What would happen though, which we will cover this in another video on its own, is the Tremor system. If we had the heating or hot water set, this would replicate what's on that panel hopefully, so we can see if we're using gas or mains, manual mode, timer mode, if the water's on, what the temperature is on the thermostat, etc. But we will cover that in a later video. Last one is settings. This can be quite basic really. We can set the time, we can set the date and the day if we need to change those. A couple of little housekeeping things, if you want the screen brighter or dimmer, you can do that through brightness, and also just idle screen timeout. At the moment this one's set to 5 minutes. It will give you a little bit of information as well, which you might need if you have any problems in the future. Like these numbers down the bottom here will just help people with fault finding. Also you can turn the key beep off if pressing the buttons. If that little beep there annoys you, you can turn that off. And last but not least, like we were talking about before with the app, you've got a Bluetooth pair and Bluetooth delete if you do want to try and set this up with the app. Okay, in terms of fault finding, these panels are pretty bulletproof for finding, but there's a couple of things that can happen, especially over the course of time and use. One of the things, being a touchscreen device, the calibration can throw itself out a little bit. So, if say you're pushing this section of the screen, you actually find you're going in the settings. The panel's not broken, it's just the calibration's moved around. So the way we recalibrate is if you hold the home button down, it's going to be about 20 seconds or so. So first of all, the panel will beep a couple of times, like so, and it will switch off. It's quite important now, keep the button held down this whole time. Just keep it held, About another 10 seconds, what we'll do, a blue screen will pop up with an instruction to touch dots to recalibrate. You can let go of the power button at that time. You see the flashing dots at the moment. We just want to push those as central as we can with our finger. 3 dots, as you can see, comes out calibrated. That is now recalibrated for touchscreen, so if you touch it again, it says power off. Simply push the home button once and you'll be loaded back into the home screen, and now the calibration should all be nice and correct again. Just touch a couple of things to make sure it is. Same again, sometimes these panels, like any software, can freeze, can crash, and then it won't be responsive at all no matter where you're pushing. Same steps really. Again, the best thing to do is just to hold the power button down, the home button down, until the panel switches itself off. Redo that calibration, treat it as like a fresh setup, and hopefully your panel then restore itself to this menu like we've just shown. Any problems though, obviously we're here for technical calls, as well as Sargent, who make the system for Swift.